some of your data to kids who need it most and power their potential.
Hello and welcome to the program. On Boxing Day of 2020, a serious and shocking incident took place in Launceston. Police were called to a Wellington Street home after a woman's body was discovered in a bedroom at about 8:30 p.m. Police, along with the Tasmanian Ambulance Service, attended the scene and tried to revive the 49-year-old woman, but unfortunately all attempts failed. The 49-year-old victim, who has now been identified by police as being Xingai Shang. The shocked family of the woman have said she was a woman who loved life and was always smiling. Police initially treated the death of the 49-year-old woman as sudden, but after a night and a day of investigation and pressure by independent media, police declared it was suspicious. And a German man was charged with murder on December 29th. That German man has been identified as 27-year-old Tobias Pick. He has been charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of stealing. He did not enter a plea when he appeared in court on December 30 and was remanded to reappear on January the 21st. In his recent court hearing, Mr. Pick pleaded not guilty. Further speculation surrounds the details of the residence where the woman's body was found. We can reveal that the victim was in fact a sex worker, and the residence was indeed a functioning brothel, despite Tasmania Police remaining tight-lipped and making no mention of those 2 key factors. Only brings into question how strong of a criminal case prosecution will have in court when it comes to sentencing Mr. Pick. Crucial pieces of information have been left out when media statements have been released by police, which sends alarm bells ringing and brings into question how Tasmania Police investigate serious crimes like the Boxing Day murder. Your Story has learnt that an off-duty police officer attended the brothel only 4 hours prior to the murder taking place, but Tasmania Police again have made no comment to the number of serious questions we have put to them, and instead once again chose to ignore us on every level. We would like to point out that simply ignoring media's questions surrounding a serious crime should be a concern to people within the community, as you, the people of Tasmania, are being drip-fed snippets of a much larger story. Tasmania Police have on every level chose to remain silent about a serious crime that has taken place and has gone on to great lengths to make sure crucial information is withdrawn from the media. This poor behaviour by our police force continues to be a laughingstock by every other police force across the nation and calls on why police still continue to be secretive around such serious crimes. The off-duty police officer, who only 4 hours prior to the murder engaged in a sexual encounter, was in fact off-duty. But nevertheless, that information should be told to the public, especially when Tasmania Police have said that they weren't aware the residence where the woman's body was found was indeed a brothel. Yet misleading statements from another trustworthy police force. This week, an organisation called Women Speak Tasmania released a media statement saying this should be a wake-up call for those regulating the sex industry in Tasmania, and we would agree. The organisation also sent an email to heads of government asking for action and an urgent review of the Act. Police, along with government, need to open their doors with complete transparency when it comes to matters like this, because as the industry continues within Tasmania to grow, it could be meaning that more lives could be lost if police and governments don't act. And that starts with honesty and complete transparency when serious incidences like this tragic murder takes place. Remaining tight-lipped and not revealing the truth only simply compounds the situation and displays the old heads of state and their secrets are back in force. Due to the last-minute legal advice, we chose not to run the name of the officer until we received clearance by our legal team. And when we do, we will publish the name via our website at tasnews24.tv. Another case that has many mysteries surrounding it is the case of former parliamentary driver Mike Hawkes, who was 70 at the time of his alleged murder in the state's north. Mr Hawkes' body was found at his Reedy Marsh home west of Launceston just before 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th of January this year. Tasmania Police arrived at the victim's home to find Mr Hawkes had been allegedly brutally murdered, and shortly after, a small-scale manhunt was underway in and around surrounding bushland. After the best part of a day, police captured a 47-year-old man who was found with a large knife, was taken into custody in the Parkham region at around 4 p.m. on Wednesday. What makes this operation more concerning is that at around 9:45 p.m. of the Tuesday evening, Tasmania Police released a media statement outlining they had the assistance of the Westpac rescue helicopter in the air searching for a suspect, and for the public to call 000 immediately should they see a man acting suspiciously. The only problem is that we were at the crime scene at 7:30 p.m. and remained at the scene until 10:22 p.m. and throughout all of that time there was no helicopter in the air providing support to police. Now, it might not seem much, but having police running around telling people everything is okay and that not to panic because they have support on the ground and up in the sky just provides a blanket over the truth. We were told by residents who were in the area where the alleged murder took place that they felt unsafe as they were reading on the Tasmanian Police Facebook page that they were getting help from the eyes in the sky from the rescue helicopter, but told us the helicopter must have been programmed to use stealth mode because not one of the residents there saw or even heard the helicopter flying around that evening. Another alarming part to this was while we were at the scene filming, we saw a man running across an open paddock very fast and very strangely. We immediately drove to the police officer at the entrance of the victim's residence and reported a full description of the man and what we saw and what he was wearing and what he looked like as we drove by. But nothing was followed up and the police didn't take us seriously. I wonder if we were driving around in a flashy sponsored supplied media vehicle like the mainstream media have, maybe then they may have acted differently. We also provided them information days later relating to a possible second offender who was present at the time of the alleged murder taking place, but again, police disregarded our information and we feel it's pointless asking the public to come forward with information if they are simply going to ignore it altogether. Later on, two men aged 39 and 44 and a 28-year-old woman were initially taken into custody but have been released without charge. A 47-year-old man from Waverley appeared in the Launceston Magistrates Court charged with murder. He did not enter a plea and has been remanded in custody to reappear in court later in January. Again, another murder police are yet to take seriously. Remember the case of missing woman Helen Munnings, who disappeared from Burnie in the state's northwest. Tasmania Police have said they have always maintained they have conducted investigations and have treated the matter seriously, but that seems a little far-fetched. Miss Munnings went missing in the seaside city of Burnie in Tasmania's northwest on July the 23rd, 2008, and despite any attempts to locate her, she is still missing. But Tasmania Police have said they're treating her disappearance as a murder. What we find strange is the way police handled this whole investigation right from the start. Police made countless errors in gathering evidence, in crucial mistakes being made that could have affected the final outcome to the case. Nevertheless, Tasmania Police continue to maintain they have always acted in a professional manner. But that does not help settle the worried mind of Helen Munnings' mother, who is still demanding answers. Tasmania Police have let down this mother by providing her with false hope by telling Helen's family and friends, along with media, statements like this one from the ABC stated online on an ABC News article in 2019 written by Edith Bevan, the former court reporter for ABC News Hobart. Police believe they know where the body of missing Tasmanian mum Helen Munnings is. But it is evident now, as it was back then, that police actually had no clue where Helen's body was. And to make a statement like that public, knowing full well Helen's mother and family would see the article at some stage, is just sickening. Tasmania Police have continued to advise media and the public they are acting accordingly to the investigation. But truth be told, police have fumbled throughout the entire investigation. Tasmania Police didn't interview Helen's boyfriend, Adam Taylor, at the time of her disappearance. Adam was the last person to see Helen Munnings alive. Mr. Taylor's boat wasn't even forensically tested for a number of months, even after he travelled out to the Bass Strait into the darkness on the day of Helen's disappearance. Yet police didn't find his whereabouts strange. Police also didn't forensically test Adam's van, and his home wasn't searched for almost a year after Helen disappeared, and the scratches on Adam's face were never photographed by police. This just shows signs of a botched police investigation, which sits at the core of Tasmania's police force. In recent weeks, your story has been provided an email by one of our sources. The email was generated by the Tasmanian Ombudsman's Office. The email relates to a number of records involving Tasmania Police, which has been officially signed off by Commissioner of Tasmania Police, Darren Hines. Now, what the findings have included that were provided by Commissioner Hines to the Ombudsman's Office were relating to many operational and covert operations used within Tasmanian Police. This included the use of tracking devices used on suspects to gather intel. So the Commissioner told the Ombudsman's Office from the 1st of July 2019 to the 30th of June 2020, tracking devices were used during 7 operations by police. However, we have uncovered that tracking devices were used in 1,674 operations throughout those dates. Commissioner Hines has stated that listening devices were used in operations only 9 times, but in fact they were used in 2,280 operations by Tasmania Police. The Commissioner also stated that police intercepted phone calls and emails only 240 times during their operations over the course of those dates. But the real amount of police phone and email intercepts comes in at a staggering 10,422 times during police operations. So it pays to make sure your phone and email passwords are secure, and we would like to mention it is not a legal obligation to hand over your passwords and phone codes to police. And as for warrants being approved by a Justice of the Peace to gain entry to people's homes, came in at a whopping 2,966, were approved by JPs, but after we investigated the JPs listed on some warrants, they were not actually approved to sign the warrants, and we encourage anyone who has been raided by police or had their home searched by police under a warrant order to have their legal counsel be provided with a copy of the warrant and who the JP was that signed off, as the JP may not be authorised to sign those orders. Lastly, a new Facebook page has come to our attention, and the name of the page is called Tasmania Police Launceston. It's growing and gaining traction very quickly, and it is operated by a young individual that has many reasons for posting videos and recordings with his interactions with police. In one video recording, the man is having a conversation with a Tasmanian police inspector from Launceston, who basically, towards the end of the recording, simply dismisses the man and his claims and provides no comfort that police will take his matters seriously. This is very unfortunate, and it appears Tasmania Police are once again simply ignoring information members of the public are providing them. We feel that police should be accepting all information provided to them and not just information they deem to be correct in their opinion. This man has been receiving death threats by another individual, but police have completely disregarded his request to make a formal statement, which is appalling in itself. The young man feels because he has Asperger's, police are not taking him seriously, and if this is true, then Tasmania Police could end up in a civil court suit. The young man has said that he has contacted the Commissioner of Police, Darren Hines, via email, but unfortunately we all know that all emails and letters addressed to the Commissioner are vetted and at 99.9% of the time won't even make it into the Commissioner's inbox or even land on his desk. which leads into the question, why are documents addressed to the Commissioner being intercepted by inspectors within Tasmania's police force, and highlights the major cover-ups within the Tasmanian Police units in order to make sure the Commissioner of Police is not aware of incidences that may make low-level police and inspectors look bad. This is absolutely a major breach of the policies and guidelines within the Tasmanian Police Force, and officers doing such things should be investigated and questioned what their intentions are when it comes to keeping things from the Commissioner of Police. If you have a story, simply send us an email to news@tasnews24.net or simply log on to our website at tasnews24.tv and fill out our contact page. Well, until next time, take care of yourself and others. Bye for now.